From Washington to New York, politics takes center stage. This week, lawmakers returned to Capitol Hill for the very first time since the election. And while in New York, Donald Trump's transition team is working to prepare for the move to the White House come January. Political analyst Mark Sandalow joins us now from Washington to discuss everything. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Margie.
Good morning. Hey, before we get to January, before he takes the Oval Office, can we just focus on right now? Is Washington still just in post-election shock?
It's all anybody talks about here. You know, this is not a city that was a big fan of Trump's, just the residents. I mean, 1 in 25 D.C. residents, 4% voted for Trump. But part of the reason is people are trying to figure out if he's just going to shake up the bureaucracy or if he's going to turn it upside down. If you work for the Department of Education, it's one thing to wonder about who your boss might be next month. It's another thing to wonder about whether the department's going to exist next month. So there's a great deal of anxiety here.
And, you know, a lot of people wanting to know just what this administration, what his cabinet is going to look like. You got a lot of names being thrown out, everyone from Rudy Giuliani to Newt Gingrich to our very own Mary Fallon here. What's the latest on his cabinet? Any new names to report?
So the newest name is Nikki Haley, the governor of South Carolina, who is rumored to be considered for Secretary of State. But you make a point with all these names flying around. Very little of this is based on solid reporting. If you work for a governor, it does not hurt your boss's prospects to simply say to a reporter, hey, off the record, guess who Trump is considering? Because even if they don't get named, it raises their stature. So a lot of these are trial balloons. A lot of these are just completely made up rumors. I mean, I think there are some safe bets like Rudy Giuliani and Newt Gingrich. If they want cabinet posts, they will get them. But we're just going to have to wait for a couple days, maybe even a couple weeks until we get some real names.
And I think a lot of people at home probably wondering how this process works, how he chooses a cabinet. It does seem like a lot of names, a lot of decisions. Does he have to have everybody chosen by January, by the time he takes office, or does he have a little bit of leeway, you know, once he gets to Washington?
He's got plenty of leeway. So these positions, the cabinet positions and all the sub-cabinet positions, and actually there are thousands of those, they need to be confirmed by the United States Senate. So if everything were to work smoothly, he gets sworn in on January 20th and he turns those names over to the Senate immediately. But absolutely not. Bill Clinton had a great deal of difficulty trying to find an attorney general who didn't have some skeletons in his closet, her closet. As a result, we didn't have an attorney general sworn in for months after he became president. So no, the whole thing does not have to be said. And for all the turmoil that's being talked about in the Trump transition, he's certainly not yet behind schedule.
Okay, so per usual, we will just stay tuned there. And then we also know House Democrats have postponed an expected vote to re-elect Nancy Pelosi as their leader. That decision not going to come down now till after Thanksgiving. Why is that? Is she in any sort of political trouble?
There was definitely a push from some opponents of Pelosi among the Democrats to stall this election off in hopes they could mount a challenge. Look, Pelosi herself and Democrats understand she is not the face of the party that you'd want to bring down to Oklahoma City, for example. That's not where her strong point is. But what Pelosi is good at is not so much in front of the camera. She is a tactician behind the scenes and in raising money. And she has raised so much money for so many Democrats who are elected to Congress that she claimed yesterday she already has a support of 2/3 of the Democratic members. So chances are she remains Democratic leader. She's 76 years old, though, and that's not going to last forever.
And Mark, my last question to you this morning. We know that Trump broke protocol by ditching the news media to have dinner at a pretty fancy New York restaurant earlier this week. I mean, he was not shy during his campaign of his disdain for the press. What do you think of this? Is this the beginning of a pretty rocky 4-year relationship?
Yeah, Marty, disdain would have been one of the nicer words he would have used. Despicable, horrible, liars, corrupt, crooked. He was vicious to the media. And, you know, of the top 100 papers in this country, 4 endorsed Donald Trump. That's it. But you know, the secret is between them and the media. He needs the news media, and he knows that. He was on The Apprentice. He knows what getting your face in front of a TV camera does, and the media needs Donald Trump. So they can hate each other on a personal level all they want or call each other names, but I am certain that Trump and the media will figure out how to make it work because it's in their mutual interest.
Okay, definitely a lot to look forward to the next couple months. Mark Sandalow, thank you so much once again for your time and your perspective.